Quick, fast, and in a hurry. 3.
Go figure.
Okay, so let's solve that again. Once again, I was not recording live on this same video. Thankfully, I watched it.
Are you muted, Jerome?
I'm no longer muted now.
Okay.
Now.
It was before.
Yes. See, you guys could hear me. If you go back and watch the replay, it's like all quiet up until like Missy speaks. And then it's all quiet. And then Eric will make a side comment. And then, you know, Todd will start talking or something. It's really awkward.
Oh, no.
It's okay. It happens. So, for those of you who missed that, because the recording was out yet again, thanks to my technical gaffe. So, we started Changing Breeds Farah on Monday. So, if you are catching this live or if you catch the any replays either off of Twitch or on YouTube, you can always check that out there. The most recent episode has been uploaded to its own playlist. So we've got that going on.
Do you want to explain anything about what that game is?
No.
In case people don't know.
No.
Okay.
Basically, if you are familiar with Werewolf the Apocalypse, it is everything other than werewolf. Is a good way to put it. So all the other types of changing breeds.
Where other?
Yes, where other. I identify as rat.
Crow, cat.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Lizard.
Etc. Etc.
Exactly. Just like Yul Brynner in The King and I. Etc. 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 But yes, so we had a good time there. Had a good turnout online, so that was fun. But back to Firefly Outlaw. For those of you who caught the last half of the broadcast, it was largely muted, thanks to me, so we should probably do a recap. So I'll let Missy go since she managed to find her notes, and it'll freak her out.
All right, let's see what these notes say.
Yep. In truth, I just like putting her on the spot since she mentioned she got her notes. I mean,
you didn't write it in haiku this time, did you?
You know what? I could have.
That would be impressive.
It's usually a mixed bag. Oh, okay. Let me take a quick look. So we got some details about Brady's past. Some really tragic things had happened to him. We also received an invitation to meet the governor, which we were going to do later on in the evening.
Correct.
Currently, Cheryl and Hannah we're doing triage for the doctor because kind of a sparsely written need help 911 note came through. We found 3 brown coats that are battle wounded. So Hannah is staying at the compound as kind of an insurance policy while I go get the doc and Tarby to
Tarby.
come back and do the needful.
All right. So actually, where we last left off, they had just finished up a medical visit back to the shoddier side of town with the shipping containers, and they successfully negotiated a price, not only partly monetary, but some physical labor as well, and an order was put in for antibiotics by the good doctor to try and get some off the black market. At this point, the mule is now rolling back up to the other side of town, where Hannah has been kind of not patiently waiting with, several surly browncoat members in an abandoned, rundown barn that is partly caved in. The ranch house that used to sit on the property is actually mostly burnt rubble, which we talked about before. Presuming at this point, since you had the time to do so on the ride over, I take it then you kind of gave him a rundown of what to expect.
As soon as I was in, so we've already picked them up at this point,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to give them the full rundown. Doc, you have 3 patients. The first one has 2 shots to the arm. The second one is bleeding from the side, possibly hit in the stomach. And the third one is a little less serious, and it's just his leg.
Okay. Girl, in my bag, I have enough medical things. I mean, medical supplies to take care of all this, right?
You do, yes.
Okay.
You have to get a little creative, but you do. Meaning you're going to have to use some clothing, tear some clothing for makeshift patching and whatnot. But otherwise, like antiseptics, cleaning out, stitching, that sort of thing. Yeah, you've got all that.
Okay.
So as you show up, obviously there were 2 other people kind of standing around that didn't obviously look like brown coats, kind of hanging out near the barn, somewhat inconspicuously, keeping an eye out. And they perk up as they see the mule come rolling up. Hands are on their weapons, but when they see that Cheryl is with this new group, they keep their hands on their weapons, but they don't appear to be quick to draw.
Right on.
They look like your typical militia type in the sense that they may have seen action, you don't know, but the 2 that you see right now look like they were probably farm hands or something prior to committing to what they're doing now. Kind of stocky, probably not the most well fed.
Are they going to stop us, or are they going to let us drive on up? Cheryl can tell us where to go.
When you come walking up, they one of them flags, one of the wounded inside, which of course prompts Hannah. You realize that the others have shown up, and they allow you to approach slowly.
Okay.
And as you come up, they pat you down, Doc.
Right.
And and at this point they motion to Satarbi that you need to hang back here at the door.
Understood. Will do, man. Let the doctor get to work.
And they do the same to Cheryl. Motion that she needs to stay back by the door.
I don't know if they're going through my bag or not, but I do have my handguns in the bag.
Yeah, you would be relieved of any firearms. So that would have been taken out and just tossed aside near the door.
Well, if they're taking it out, I mean, I'll just give it to Tarby. Can I give it to Tarby? Or,
Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely.
I'll take him and hold on to him, boss.
All right. Well,
And Hannah's done her best. You know, anybody who needed like an elevated arm or something, she has a makeshift sling, you know, put on there, or she's directed people to, you know, keep pressure applied to potentially open wounds.
So it's patient 2 that I'm most concerned about. That stomach wound that Cheryl told me about.
Yes, and he's not looking good.
All right. So, whoever's in charge here, I look around for somebody in charge. I'm like, I need clean towels. And I need clean towels. And if they're not clean, you need to boil some water and give you some clean towels. This man's not looking good.
All right. Give me a roll. Whoops. 1 second. Give me a social and influence check.
Social. Ooh. 9.
Okay. So one of the guys at the door, you know, looks down to their wounded and looks back to you, and he says, "Doc, we ain't got that here. There ain't no running water."
You have no water?
Yeah, they all like look around and they say, "Does it look like we live here, Doc?"
Okay, I'm trying to save his life. I'm sorry. I'm just. It's an easy question. Do you have the ability to get water so I can save his life?
So they look back and forth to one another, and they say, and then again, it's one of the guys at the door. They say, "You're gonna have to send one of your own. We can't go into town."
All right, hearing that, I'll jump back on the mule and go get some water at the nearest place.
Yeah, it's just water and before he goes, I'm like, do you have like material like cloth, or does he need to get cloth too? I mean, I don't know.
You're gonna need to get whatever you need to get. We ain't set up no camp here. This ain't no hideout. We came here because we had to.
And I don't mean to be rude, but this is coming out of my pocket. Are we going to be reimbursed for this? I want to save this man's life, but this is not supposed to be a charity visit. This is supposed to be, you know, to help out and make money at the same time. I'm not trying to be rude here, but
if you can do what you say you can do, we will definitely see that you get your just reward.
All right. So Tarby, please, towels. And I guess a bucket, just some water, enough water, some few gallons of water so we can boil it.
Absolutely. I'm gonna motion to Misty to give me some credits because I'm pretty sure I don't have any on me.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and toss a stick to Harvey.
All right, I'm gonna grab him and take off.
Okay.
I can't do much with this guy without clean supplies, because I don't want to start doing, you know, surgery on him and get stuck. You know what I mean? Like Hannah's been taking care of him at this point. Like, have we just been changing out bandages, or is there even
as best as you can? That's really all she's been able to do.
Should we get a fire started?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Are you fellas okay with us starting a fire?
So long as you can keep it out of sight. Like maybe take it around back or something. We can't have no signal going up.
Okay, well, gentlemen, let's do this. I need Hannah in here with me. So why don't you get a fire started, so when he gets back, we can boil that material and get for your man here. So you take care of your fire. That's however it's going to be hidden. But I need the fire in order to boil the water. Does that make sense? Are we tracking?
Okay, go ahead and roll your social and influence again.
Okay. It's an 8.
So one of the other guys, mutters kind of back and forth to the other guy, and he like wanders around back to go try and get something going.
Okay. So then, let's look at the leg wound then, because it sounds like that's a little more complex than that, like the shot in the arm.
Okay. So then go ahead and give me a check on that one. You're trying to do a mental and treat.
It says next to treat is a specialty in first aid. What does that do?
Basically what you're trying to do.
Okay. So
In this particular case, if you want to use know-it-all, you can. Which means instead of rolling a D8, you can roll a D4 and gain a plot point. Or
I already rolled and I got the worst roll possible.
No.
You did what we call a Brittany?
What?
Oh no.
Wow.
oops, I did it again.
Yeah, I got the 10 and an 8. I got snake eyes.
Snake eyes.
Whew, all right. Ouch. Okay, so you are examining and trying to treat it, and you end up getting out some fragment of one of the rounds, but in doing so, you end up nicking an artery.
Shit.
And of course, you know it immediately. I mean, it starts bleeding a lot more profusely than it should have.
I'm like, I need towels. I'm like putting it on. I'm like, I go, the artery, the blood is flowing. Hannah, I need your hands here.
Can I like whip off my belt and like hand it to him?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Yeah, if I need to do a tourniquet, I will. That's not a bad
Go
idea.
ahead and make your roll again. You're trying to, in essence, save the man's life.
Okay, so 2 dice, treatment, and mental.
I'm sending in some good vibes, bro.
Yeah, so it's going to be mental and treat again.
Okay, so now I got an 18, so I'm happy.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe we'll make it through it too.
So Hannah's quick thinking with the belt, and you're tying it down has helped staunch it a bit, but given where you're at, you're going to have to cauterize it, which is going to hurt like hell, and hopefully you don't damage the artery further, but that's going to be the quickest way to ensure that he doesn't bleed out.
All right. I mean, we're not amputating at this point. We're just
Yeah. No, you definitely don't have that much damage.
Hopefully they've got that fire going then.
Well, let me check. He's working on it. You occasionally hear him like blowing and trying to get the fire going. So far, unsuccessful.
Okay, so with a traditional firearm, you can shoot it and the barrel will heat up. How does that work with the type of weapons we're shooting here?
Same. You don't have laser weapons. They're all projectile.
All right, so I'm going to turn to the other guy that's here. I go, I need to cauterize the wound. I either need a fire I can put something in to cauterize with, or you're going to have to shoot a few rounds off to heat that barrel up. Like I can cauterize with. So,
It's a gamble, man.
Goram it, Doc! What the hell are you doing? And so you hear the guys like, I'm working on a fire. I'm working on a fire. Damn it!
So where you're cutting out, it's almost as if you're being censored. It's awesome.
Okay. And at that point, you hear the guy in the back holler that he's like, I got it. It's starting. It's a flicker.
Okay, we have no weapons. All I have is my scalpel here. I need something larger, like a knife that's heated up in that flame.
All right. Well, hold on a second. Keep him tied down.
How far away is this flame?
It's on the other side of the barn. It's on the outside.
So it's still pretty close.
Okay, yeah, I'm afraid of heating the knife up. By the time we bring it back to the body, it's cooled off.
Oh no.
Real smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good place for the fire. Thanks, guys. It's like,
Plus, there's damage to the sides of the barn, so it's not like you have to go out the front. You can kind of
that's so.
shimmy
Go
through
through
one
the
of the
wall.
sides.
All right, I'm gonna pay attention to the wound here. Hannah, can you go get a knife and get it?
You got it. You got it,
red
Doc.
hot, as hot as you can get it.
I'm gonna take the knife and
So
and
you
go
you
take it
pull out
away.
one of your old survival knives.
Wait, I don't think we had any weapons though.
Did you not have anything on you?
Well, didn't they take it off of us?
Only
Not all.
pistols. Only pistols and rifles and whatnot.
Oh, then sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you pull out, like a trench knife or something, and hold it in this flame. It's taking a little bit because the flame is there. It's just not very big. You're just putting grass under it and trying to, make it bigger. The one benefit you have is obviously there's parts of this barn that are broken, so there's available wood. And dried out no less too. So, and it eventually gets up to a decent-ish, almost campfire. And by that point, you've got this blade pretty hot. It's getting hot enough from the heat. I think it would be convection, basically, that you're starting to your hand's getting tender on the hilt.
All right. Well, bring it back in. Hand it over.
All right, so I'm paying attention to the wound. I watch when Hannah comes in. I take it and I cauterize the best I can.
Okay, go ahead and roll again.
So 17.
Oh, nice. Okay. So at this point, even though it's makeshift, you're like, okay, well, I know how to recover from this. So without, you don't have to hold it down to the whole wound. You just hold it down just enough to the artery so it sears it closed. So now you're pretty confident at this point you can stitch the rest of the way, of the open flesh to get it closed and keep it closed. It's just a matter of, at this point, he's probably going to have to stay off his leg, for several days for this thing to heal.
Yep.
Without causing any sort of internal bleeding.
And I pass that information on to the guy standing here. I go, are you the one I need to be talking to about treatment when we leave? Or is there somebody else I need to talk to?
Who are you talking to when you say that?
The guy that's at the door. Because one guy was doing the flyer and there was another guy at the door still.
Yeah.
So I just say to him, are you the one I need to talk to about the treatment for when we leave? Like what he needs to do? Or
Well, I ain't got no say over him, but I'll do my best to remember.
All right. Well, and I tell the whole thing. He's got to stay off this leg. I mean, if he gets up, it's going to cause internal bleeding. But if he's, when my friend gets back with the wound, with the paper, the cloth, we can get this covered and clean, and they can wrap this. But it'll heal on its own in a couple weeks, as long as he stays off the leg.
All right, Jeb, you hear that? Stay off your damn leg. Yeah. Just get me the hell out of here, man.
Okay, I'm going over to the guy with the arm, and I'm like, you're going to need antibiotics as well. And I do have some, but I just we'll take care of that when we start working this all out. The guy with the bullet's still in his arm, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's got two bullet holes.
Mm-hmm.
So is it an in and out, or the bullet like is either he's been shot twice, or is either one an in and out, or is they both bullets inside?
No, he was unfortunate. Both of them are in the arm.
I have one of them is still has the slug.
Yeah.
I guess the other one's in and out.
So go ahead and roll your mental and treat at this point again.
Okay. This is easy enough because I've got scalpels and tools for this. It's a 10.
Okay. Well, it's good enough. With your scanner at this point and going over the guy's arm, you can tell that he was pretty lucky not to have it blown completely off, because you can tell by the round you're pulling out, it was a pretty high caliber round. So this guy, I mean, you can obviously save him from bleeding or whatnot. He's probably gonna need I mean, if he doesn't get a prosthetic, he's probably gonna need a cybernetic limb or something to replace this, because his arm's never gonna be the same.
I break it down for him. I'm like, you're lucky to be alive. You could have lost your arm and just bled out right then. You're lucky to even be alive at this point. You're probably going to need to get some kind of prosthetic, or, I don't know what you want me to do at this point. I can amputate the arm, and then you can get a prosthetic later, or you can just deal with the arm the way it is until you get the prosthetic.
No, hell no, Doc. Patch me up now. I ain't got time for that.
I patch him up the best I can, stitch him up. Again, I gotta wait for the bandages to get here.
By about that time, you're still working. Of course, fire's going on out there. Satarbi, I'm literally like, you weren't even kind about it. You dove past some farmhouse, grabbed some stuff from a line, and bolted. It's a minor crime. Who cares at this point?
Yeah, come find me.
Exactly. So you just swipe some clean linen from some poor schmuck's laundry line or whatnot, and didn't even stop, just and then kept going.
Right on.
So you're coming back about a half hour later, with like a clean shirt that can work, and you've got like 2 blankets that were hung out to dry.
And the water?
Oh yeah, you will have to stop for that. So you managed to swipe water, or swipe the linen. Water. Are you going to be quick about it like you did that, or are you just going to go into town and buy it?
No, I'm gonna, wherever I can, the earliest I can find water, I'm gonna grab. I'm just worried about these guys.
So you're okay to pilfer, is what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I have a flexible morality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hear where you got it from. I just want to.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so since you got a flexible morality, why don't you give me a we're going to go with physical and sneak, but you're going to need a higher than normal roll because you're being quick about it.
Okay. Give me just a second. Physical and sneak.
Physical.
And 6.
Yes, Olivia
13.
Newton-John. What'd
I
you
got
get?
13.
13? Okay.
Nice.
So it's not hot, but you rolled into town and you packed away, you just kind of threw the stuff in the back at this point. And you end up rolling up to, a stand that's not far from the main road, selling some, they're kind of one of the, like a juice stand sort of thing, but they've also got, like mineral water, sort of thing. And you just kind of do one of those, like, look, bunt cake. And you just, yeah. And you just, you kind of, you do the, pull your shirt out real quick, swipe a couple, so they fall into your shirt, and just bolt back to the, you bolt back to your mule and just start hightailing it.
Right on, man.
Now, of course, the guy is yelling, "Yes, there's a thief," but it's water.
We can deal with it later, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a capital offense.
Oh,
Give him a tip later.
Yeah.
I mean, pay back and with interest.
So you start racing, back out of town, and within about we'll say about 45 minutes at that point, he comes back. He's got about 5 bottles of water with him, and sufficient sheets if they're cut up to do what it is that you need to do.
all right. So I've got the water. This is my stomach wound. I mean, that's where I'm at now. It's I got to clear this wound out, and I gotta get in there and find the bullet that's inside there. And
Okay, so at this point, you cannot see it. You know the wound is there, but you know the round is in there someplace because there's no puncture wound at the back. So you're having to examine first with what tools you have on hand. So you're going to need to roll mental and no, not operate.
I've got fix with medical technology.
No. Let's go mental and knowledge.
All right.
And using your scanner to kind of go over them.
I've got a 17.
Oh, nice. All right. So you found it, and you can see why it looked like the wound was so aggravated is because the round itself, whatever he must have been wearing, absorbed most of the impact. Because it did puncture his gut, but you can see the wound is or not the wound. You can see the round is floating like right there in front of the stomach.
All right. Well, it's not in the stomach. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's in him, but not in the stomach.
All right. Cool. I mean, that's a good thing. It didn't puncture the organ. I'll say that out loud. I mean, it didn't puncture the stomach. I mean, well, that's the first good news I've gotten since I've been. So, I whatever I need to do at this point, I'm going to get that out of there.
Okay, and at this point, it's going to be your mental and fix.
Okay.
And given the difficulty, I need 2 rolls.
Okay, I got.
And
9.
Hannah, I take it you're assisting by letting him do what he needs to do, and you're sopping up the blood with the strips of cloth?
Yeah.
Okay, so then give me a mental and fix roll as well. Or not mental and fix, mental and treat.
Okay, first roll I got a 9. Second roll I got a 16.
Okay.
12.
Okay. This clearly isn't your thing, but you take direction well. And you've kind of done this with him once before, helping out. So you're getting a little bit more used to it, at least in the sense of like, okay, just guide me, and that's where you clean up, or you kind of go where directed.
I can just turn off my brain and go.
Yeah. And it's a little rough going at first, Todd. You are definitely trying to get that bullet out, and because it's free floating, and you don't have him on like a bed and strapped down or whatnot, and of course he's still breathing. It was a little awkward getting it out, and which of course increased the danger because you don't want to accidentally send your tool like puncturing into his stomach or tearing a muscle or something nasty. So you steel your nerves for another minute or two and throw a prayer out there. Just like you said, it's the best piece of news you've had since you've got here, and the last thing you want to do is have a repeat of the artery. And you kind of focus. You have Hannah kind of hold him down a little bit more, and then you hear a tap with your tool, with the pincher, and then you realize you've got it, so you fish a little bit and you finally pull that out. And you can
So
see,
like,
I mean, the round is like mushroomed and everything. So it was always in danger of aggravating something if he was still up and moving around.
so when I take it out, I'm gonna hold it up like a newborn baby, you know. I'm gonna be like, ah, but I'm also gonna inspect it to make sure. You said a mushroom. I want to make sure that I'm looking at it to see is there fragments still left inside.
Yeah, you've checked for that with your scanner, and you're not detecting any sort of fragmentation, metallic fragmentation inside.
All right, I'm like, this is your lucky day, sir. You know, this is it. You know, so, I take that, set it aside, and I clean up as much as I can. I ask, Hannah to give me some towels to clean up in here, and then once it's as clean as can be, I'm gonna start stitching them up at this point.
Okay, go ahead and roll for that.
10.
All right. It's kind of routine. It's not the best looking stitches that you've done, but it will do. Especially given the haphazard location that you happen to be in. And the water supplies worked out. You kept it clean, and there's still enough left over for your patients to actually drink something, which they probably all should at this point. All of them look like they're a little malnourished.
Before bandaging up and everything too. So.
Okay.
Hey. My dog.
Yeah. So the man from the front who's been kind of keeping an eye out and watching on occasion, the guy you just worked on has already passed out.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm gonna give him the same spiel for all three guys. The two guys, that the leg and the stomach guy, they've got to, as long as they can not move, they're gonna make it through this. I go, the guy with the arm. I mean, you as soon as you're ready to stand up, you can get up and move around. There's not a whole lot more I can do for that arm, but I mean, your friends here, they're looking good. I have confidence that they're gonna survive this ordeal. They're gonna have some good battle scars, but they're gonna survive today.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm sure Billy will, when he comes around, will thank you as well. But he looks pretty passed out at this point.
Right. So, I mean, I want to come back, check up on this, but I'm not. How long are you guys gonna stay here? Are you hunkered down here, or are you looking at?
Oh, hell no, Doc. We got to get moving.
Okay, and I can't guarantee your survival rate of your friends as far as moving goes.
Well, the one thing we can guarantee is if we can't move, they will die.
All right.
In case you haven't heard, unification day is tomorrow.
No, I get it. You need to understand, I'm a doctor first. I want to take care of you. I want to take care of what's going on here. So I want to follow up. So if you're moving, you know how to get a hold of me. So I want to come back and check on you in a couple of days here. So you need to let me know where to check up on you.
And so they kind of look around at one another, and the guy with the arm injury, because he can stand up, he just keeps his his left arm in a sling at this point. And he says, well, if I recall, one of our kind was recently told that they could hunker down someplace near the channels.
I'm not sure what you're implying. What does that mean? Like,
are you looking to find somewhere to lay low too?
We'd appreciate it if you could, ma'am.
Doc, how many bedrooms we can spare?
are we talking about turning our home into a triage center?
Apparently.
Why don't we let's go talk to our other folks here and see what our the vote is on this. I'm all for it. I mean, if I need to give up my room to do that, I can do that. But
You fellas best be aware, our place is not exactly secret anymore. Apparently, a lot of folks around town know how to find us.
Well, well, I reckon it's might be better than this rundown barn.
That
Ain't
is
got
that.
no water, no heat, no real nothing.
Well, it's kind of a democratic decision. We've got to bring it back to our other folks over here. So,
No, well, I get it. Then just give me a moment to get my people together.
okay, you do your thing. We're gonna go talk to our people then. So we're gonna walk out with Cheryl and Tarby are over here
Mm-hmm.
and break it down. And just they need to move. They're not secure here, so they're asking for a place to stay. So, you know,
Place for how long?
I don't know. I want to talk to you folks, even see if this is something we're willing to float.
I mentioned to the lady at the diner that if she saw Mr. Bendis, then he could maybe lay low at our place for a little while. I had no idea there were so many brown.
Why would you say that?
I didn't want him to get killed. I didn't mean to turn our place into a hostel.
This is just a lot of unnecessary risk.
Yeah. Be nice if we had some kind of hidden basement we didn't know about. You know, get back to our place and find out. That's where everybody can stay.
Oh, keep in mind Nina's here too.
Yeah. What's Nina's vote?
Nina's like, she's like, well, I mean, I'm getting a good vibe off of them, so I know we can trust them. But
Well, they don't want to die.
obviously, there's a problem with those unificators.
You think they'll leave after Unification Day? I mean the mercenaries.
I didn't get that impression.
Unlikely.
I mean, it's a gamble either way. Doc, if we leave them out here, they're fair game. They come back with us. That obviously brings the heat there, but I don't know. We seem to have a lot of goodwill with the local neighbors. I don't think that they would rat us out unless they were super pressured, and I can't imagine we've given anybody a real reason to look at us right now. Unless we've done something I don't know of.
I mean, we've been helping them. We haven't. It's not like we've been stealing from them or hurting them in any way.
No, I mean like other local authorities or something. I mean, we don't really have anything to our name outside of we've taken people in and cleaned up the area.
No, the locals like us. I mean, if we're gonna go for a vote, I'd say we bring them in, but I don't want to. They need. I've just healed them. I don't want to watch them die. So my vote would be that we take them in because I think the locals will support and we won't have problems. So, JC, it sounds like you're going that direction. So
I'll go with the group. I mean, I can see both sides at this point.
Yeah.
I vote yeah for personal reasons.
I vote yeah. It's just provided that we have some upfront boundaries and
a time limit.
And a time limit. And Tarby, you're gonna have to talk to your friend because I'm sure he's gonna take notice.
All right, so I can't remember his past. I know he was involved with the war, but where was he? Was he a brown coat? Was he?
I don't think it's just that he lost everything in the war, including a family member.
Right. I'm just afraid when we bring these guys in, the PTSD is they going to see the brown coat and say, "Oh, these guys are awesome," Or the guys come in, he's like, "Oh no!" You know.
No, I presumed that he was a brown coat because wasn't he talking about shooting at an Alliance ship or something when he was doing his shooting trick on the
Yeah,
roof?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's either.
Mm. I haven't seen it.
Barring that, you could, I don't know, make him get some well-earned rest, Doc.
Yeah. We can do it. All right. So let's. Charby, I'm going to lean on you for this because you're gonna. I don't know about making a deal for them coming in and staying. I'm leaning towards getting them so they're safe and healthy. But as far as Cheryl, you guys might be our spokesperson, people on the deal. You know what I mean?
That's fine. I can handle that. So are we all in agreement that provided there's certain boundaries that this is acceptable?
Yeah. Look at you said time. What's an acceptable time before we start talking to them? What's an acceptable time for them to stay with us?
Doc, I think you're going to have to set that one down. What's a reasonable
Yeah.
time for them to heal enough to move?
Okay, Jerome, what am I looking at? Like a month, 2 weeks, what?
Why don't you give it a roll? Because I mean, you're planning for crisis at this point, so it's like what could you? You're in kind of your medical mode, but your threat assessment. So it's like, what could I feasibly get away with without risking their lives?
Okay, I got a 7.
Your best guess at this point, given the severity of some of the wounds, you're thinking probably 2 weeks.
All right, go ahead, say that.
If and that for you is cutting it close.
So I go I just say that I go if it's I'd say they probably need a place to hold up for 2 weeks. If they could stay longer, that would be better, but at least 2 weeks.
Okay.
I think
I can take care of that.
we're going to have to be real careful about the number of vehicles that people see as they go by.
We're also going to have to be careful about
And we only got the one mule.
yeah.
Well, we do, but what about them?
I didn't see anything here.
How are they going to move their friends?
They probably lost what they had.
So maybe we need to help them out with that too.
Probably.
We also have to think about the additional food and whatnot we're going to be bringing into the house. We're going to have to do that somehow inconspicuously if it means us breaking up and buying things separately. I don't know, maybe that'll work, but
hunt more lake shark.
If we have to do multiple trips, I don't mind waiting this out here for you guys. I do think if anybody goes, Doc should go with them.
Well,
that makes sense.
Well, you and Cheryl are military, right? Why don't one of you talk to them and see if they know somebody who could loan a vehicle so we can speed this up, or
yeah, I'll take care of that,
or something. I mean, if nothing else, try and get them to put up something.
I'm gonna go find the leader and hey, I need a word.
And he was the guy kind of hanging out, and he's like, and he just motions to the guys in the back who are starting to get up and and around and whatnot. And so he takes a couple steps off to the side. Yeah.
Okay. We have come to a consensus, and we're willing to. We would like to bring you back for observation and make sure that everyone heals up properly and keep you safe for at least the next 2 weeks. At 2 weeks' time, Doc will do a once-over to see if your guys are healthy enough to travel and move along. This can happen provided that you guys can also find some transportation, because we only have the one mule, and that's going to be real obvious with all these people.
Yeah, no. All right, hold that thought. So he, peeks his head in the barn and he says, "Hey, Rix, you got family out this way somewhere, right? Don't they have like something we can use, like even a tractor or whatnot?" And he said, and he kind of mulls it. And he's like, "Yeah, I mean it's runs for shit, but it's got a flatbed. Would that work?" And so he looks to you and he says, "I don't know. Would that work?"
That should work. That's a lot better than the alternative. So,
And whoever's driving, they're just going to be careful about potholes and stuff like that. How many men are we looking at moving in?
5.
Okay. So you're 3 injured and the 2 of you.
Yeah. Now he says, "Sorry, let me do some introductions here." He's like, "I'm Will, Corporal. This is PFC Thomas. Rix is the one with the arm. Billy Will is the one with the stomach. Jeb is the one with the leg."
I'm gonna have to lean on you for the notes, Missy.
I'm going to. I've got the first one and the last one. Who is our private first class?
Thomas.
Thomas.
Rix is the one with the arm injury. Billy Will's the one with the stomach injury. And Jeb is the one with the leg injury.
Got it.
All right. Any of you good with machinery or whatnot?
Medical machinery. But like, what do you mean?
Well, like engine work.
Oh,
We might have somebody that can help.
I'm still back at the mule, right?
Well, I mean, you're there. I mean,
Are we all present?
yeah.
My specialty is not with vehicles, but I can maybe figure it out.
All right. So he's like, so he calls back. He says, "Rix, why don't you follow the young lady here? Take her to your family's home. See if you can get that tractor up and running, and get back here pronto." And he's like, "Yeah, it's a sure thing." I mean, they seem to be kind of informal. It's clear that they're probably all friends, but rank was probably held by somebody else, clearly, and that guy or girl is no longer here. So he keeps his arm, kind of slung up and whatnot, and climbs into the mule.
Y'all gonna just hang out here, or
No, we ain't got no choice.
no? I mean, I was talking to the rest, or our guys. Why don't one of you also come with, and then we can work on the tractor and get it up and running.
I'm gonna figure out the patients.
Mule back.
I can come with. I need a change of scenery.
All right, I'll camp here with the doc then.
All right.
All right, so I guess we'll take the mule and head wherever he's describing.
Okay, so at this point, you guys you're off road at this point. Just kind of going over at this point, it's rolling grass, probably was fields of something, because it looks like it may have been plowed, but it's been long since left. Until you eventually get to an old country road. You can see the remains of mailboxes, like, you know, a mailbox set up every so often, denoting that you're probably near a, you know, a hub of small homes coming up. And the road forks. You end up going. He points down. You know, one of the roads is, you know, as you guys are going, you know, to make a turn, and he says, "So, if you don't mind me asking, you know, because I'm kind of inquisitive like that." Y'all clearly ain't from around here, but you're helping us browncoat types.
That appears to be.
I thought by reputation y'all were like straight mercenaries.
Well, everybody
Means that's
deserves
just,
to live.
that's just the way the wind blew us for the time being, man. We all
Did
came
you
from
go with
different-
them, or are you back with the doc?
Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry.
He's like yelling from a mile away.
I'm all. I think
What's
somebody's
this
talking
way?
to me.
Wind blow!
Y'all forgot to bring my 2 cents along.
Come get this shit.
I mean, it don't make me know. Never mind. It ain't normal, gaijin like you coming in and will be in this kind. So it I think it's probably making some folks wary.
That's the first time it's been put to me like that, but I guess I can see your point.
Yeah, well, folks who come visiting here are usually alliance types, or they come from the core worlds, because they ain't got nothing better to do, so they ain't from around here.
Yeah. We ended up here, so we're making the best of it right now, and we're just trying to help out.
Well, much obliged. It's just going to be a little piece up over here, this hill. You're going to want to hang a right when you see the big tree. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty open space out here. And in fact, you know, another mule comes you know, flying by down the road. Not super fast, just kind of, you know, at their own pace. And in fact, you know, they're probably pushing 60, maybe in their early 60s. You know, they got the nice, you know, gray hair going on. One guy, he's just straight up got straw hanging out his mouth and just driving on by. Like, you know, they're just out for a stroll. And they just, you know, from one hand off, you know, one hand off the stick, just kind of does one of those as they pass on by.
It just
And you circle around up the you know, up past the big tree. It's one of those big trees that's, you know, thick roots and whatnot. It's been here quite a long time.
Like a cottonwood.
Yeah, overhang and whatnot. And as you come rolling up, it's almost like an old plantation style house, pretty run down, but it was probably prominent at one point in time. Like what you saw before, it had fields. There are some that are still kind of being tilled and kept up on, but for the most part, it looks like this place has been out of prominence for a while. And so he just kind of, you know, motions up to the side. He's like, just, you know, pull up wherever. I'll try and flag the family. You know, and a couple people come out, and he's, you know, he takes them off the side and just starts talking to them. And I mean, he's still clearly in his brown coat. They don't, you know, care one bit. And he disappears inside for a few, leaving you two, you know, out in the front for right now. In the distance, you can see a dog chasing a butterfly. Like, just, you know, just kind of prancing a little bit through the grass. And every so often you see, you know, kind of going along. And he ends up coming back out, and he says, "Okay, so tractors around back, set up similar to this mule, but the bed itself is wheeled. Is that going to be okay? That's all we got."
We'll make do.
All right. And he winces and pops a couple pills into his mouth. Looks like he probably went inside to get a pain reliever or something. He shows you the old tractor. It's got like grass coming up around it, like it hasn't been used in a while.
Oh.
Yeah, there's indentations in the ground where the tires from the bed had last been put. So it's like if you move it, the grass is like there's no grass right there at that particular spot.
Are the tires still in good condition?
On the because the tractor itself is a mule, so it'll hover.
Okay.
On the bed itself, it'll probably last.
Okay.
You're not towing anything terribly heavy.
Then I'm gonna try and start it up and see what we're dealing with.
Okay. So it does not turn over.
All right, then I'm gonna pop the hood and take a look.
Alrighty. Why don't you go ahead and give me a mental and fix?
10.
Oh, nice. Okay. Thankfully, the premise behind some of these older vehicles you're kind of familiar with, not from working on vehicles per se, but the premise is very similar to some of the old machines that you used for the pressing of the steel and whatnot to put together the your weapons. So
And I guess my family did work on farm equipment these days, so it's not as unfamiliar as it could be.
So with a couple of part replacements. What is that?
I'm looking something up on leg wounds.
Todd's watching YouTube videos.
I was looking up leg wounds and I got a surgery video. I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted. That was a lot of blood.
So, with a couple of part replacements from the house and what tools that you have on hand, it's not sounding good, but you get it up and running.
Well, we'll have time to figure it out later.
Like it starts up and it sparks occasionally and it lets off a trail of smoke. Like not like a lot, but like that little white clouds every so often.
Well, I guess it'll get us to from A to B until it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think plans for heading back, maybe you and I should take this just in case there's any breakdowns or whatnot. At least from the hideout.
Tail me back to the barn?
Yeah.
And then we can head back from there. Load up.
Hey, I'm along for the ride at this point, ladies. Just let me know where I need to sit.
Why don't you take the sit on the mule? It's more smooth ride.
Well, I'm not going to say no. Thank you, ma'am. So he just he just sits back and pushes the seat back just a little bit, and he's like, oh my arm. Oh, God. Y'all haven't run into those unificators yet, have you?
We've seen them.
Oof, nasty bit of business those guys are.
Yeah, not really interested in crossing paths anytime soon.
Yeah, they're all vets from the war. Every last one of them.
That's unfortunate.
So you guys pull out and head back to the barn. It's touch and go with the tractor every once in a while. Usually on a turn, like you start to turn and it's like and making like really
There's no power steering on this thing.
gross sounds and whatnot. Or it'll start to lean a little bit as as the engine differentiator is weakening, trying to keep it level set and whatnot. You're like, whoa, low riding at one end, but I mean you end up getting there. You have to take the roads though with the tractor because it's towing the wheeled cart essentially behind it. So within about an hour, they end up showing back up at the wrecked barn with this thing, with them. I mean, you actually hear them before they actually, come pulling up.
Oh, jeez.
Sure.
Sounds like Sanford and Sons.
Yeah, kind of. Think for for a moment like your typical hover vehicle you might hear in a sci-fi with a nasty alternator belt sound to it as well for like no apparent reason.
Sounds like a dying air conditioner.
Kind of, yeah. Just but she shows up with it, and they take a moment to so where are you loading the brown coats? Are they going in the cart?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which vehicle provides more cover for them? Or are they both equally out in the open?
Yeah, both of them are going to be equally out in the open.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and assume that they're gonna take their brown coats off for the travel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're smart enough for that. They're going anywhere near the town. It's instinctive. They're gonna, I mean, they can't throw them away, but
I figured. I just didn't want it to be like a pride thing or whatnot.
yeah, no.
I feel much better about this trip now. I don't want to say anything, but
Nice.
So you end up, and it takes like 2 hours at this point at the speed that you're going, because I mean, think, the old Ford tractors that were like they look like trikes. They had like the small like wheel set up in the front and the two gigantic tractor wheel. That's kind of what this hover tractor looks like.
Missy's driven one of those.
Only no wheels per se. Those big bases are basically big engines to kind of keep it stable. And it takes you about 2 hours, which is a lot longer than it would have normally on the mule. So by the time you're rolling up to the trenches, the sun is going down at this point. Like it's becoming evening. You guys are pushing time for that engagement with the governor. But you guys, come rolling up, and they instinctively just start like slowly sliding off the tractor before it even comes to a complete stop. It wasn't going too fast, anyways.
Right on.
Probably walk faster.
And you can hear some music coming from inside the main building. It's a tear in my beer style music.
Oh no.
It's a nice twangy country sound.
Tatarbi, get in there. Doc,
I'm gonna go see what's going on.
Doc, do you need me to do anything?
No, you're good. I'll stay with the patients. Y'all take care of him.
should I inject him with anything?
Well, you come let me know how he is before we start wasting medicine on injecting him. Not out.
I mean, I guess. Okay.
You weren't talking about bullets, were you?
All right, let's go.
We're talking about anesthesia.
We're gonna inject him with bullets.
Something.
You're gonna what?
It'll be a low dose of 9mm.
I'm a land farmer, motherfucker.
Thing.
50 cal.
3 units with a 50 cal.
Yeah. So Satarbi, you come rolling in, and surprisingly enough, the house on the inside is not totally messed up. There's a couple bottles here and there that, while not broken, have been kind of left on the ground or like on a table. So I mean, it's not completely clean, but it's not thrashed.
Gotcha.
And he has one of those like clay jugs
Uh-oh.
with like the big old finger hole and stop cork. Sitting at a table that wasn't there when you guys left.
Did he make it?
No.
Huh.
No, it's clearly not made. But because all the stuff that you guys had in here was originally was either repurposed from stuff that you had found when you cleaned this up, or like little knickknacks that they paid Doc to kind of help. No, this table, it's like a solid oak style, like it's one of those firm, and it's even got that clean finish. Like it's got the like recent waxing and whatnot. I mean, it looks, with the exception of the fact that he's hunkered over it and there's probably been some alcohol spilled on it, it looks pretty damn new.
Is he awake or is he passed out?
No, he's actually passed out, just kind of like snoring. He's actually snoring in spilt alcohol. So. I mean, obviously, it's not impeding his breathing, but when he exhales, occasionally you can hear kind of blah, 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 like it splattering, on the table, from the exhale of air.
I'm gonna try and prop him up and get him to. Does he have a private room?
Yeah, you guys actually did, because for detox purposes, you guys did end up giving him.
All right, I'm gonna try and make.
How many rooms do we have in here?
You were able to fit, it was like 10 total, and that was squished. Because you have at least 2 rooms that were repurposed in general for like the wall cots.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And that's basically like he's been sleeping it off in one of those.
Oh, he sleeps so soundly you almost just want to put a pillow over his face, huh, Tarby?
This guy's seen some stuff, man. Let's leave him alone. All right. I'm gonna try and put him down with as least amount of resistance.
So you just pick him up and go put him in
Try
bed?
to. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's heavier than I am, but
he's been putting on a little bit of weight because you guys have been trying to keep him healthy. So go ahead and give me a physical and labor check.
Gotcha. Physical and labor.
Because he is pretty dead weight right now.
Physical and where is labor?
Middle column, or at least minus.
Yup.
Oh, I got a 10 and a 3.
Okay.
A 10 on the 10. I don't know if that counts.
Yeah. So you give it kind of a heave ho sort of thing, like, because he wasn't starting from a complete on the floor, so you kind of use that and hunker down and put your back into it.
Gotcha.
You get him up over your shoulder, and you hear him belch pretty hard as you force gas out, sort of thing. But I mean, you got a hold of him. You get him walked back into the into the room where he's been sleeping, and it doesn't even phase him. You're a little ungentle when you actually lay him down because he's again kind of heavy, but yeah, it doesn't phase him. He is just out.
Wasn't he supposed to stay in his room?
Yeah, he was.
I think somebody brought something by the house though as a gift between that house and the new product here. So
Yeah, where did this table come from? That wasn't there before, was it?
No, it wasn't. It does this look familiar to any of you?
no, I'm just thinking somebody from town must have dropped it off.
He said it was nicely polished. It probably is in a crazy juxtaposition with like everything else we have here. It's probably the nicest thing we've got.
So actually, it is. So Will kind of looks around and he motions to Thomas to start picking up some of the junk that's on the floor, and he's like, "So where do you want my guys crashed out or positioned?"
Go ahead and I was trying to remember which rooms. So we had you said we had 4 of the rooms and 2 were being purposed for.
Basically, you have enough room for you guys to have your own spot, but 2 of the rooms in there have been purposed for wall beds, so to kind of condense on the room.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna direct them to there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and separate the injured so that they have some more peace and quiet to rest in the one room, and in the other room, I'll go ahead and direct everybody for that's able-bodied.
Okay. So
where's Chang?
So Will is like, okay, so Billy, Will, Ricks, Jeb, you guys are in here. Thomas and I are room adjacent. And as he peeks in there, he's like, oh, shit. So this is where Hickok went to. And like, the other 2 can't really, maneuver. But Ricks kind of hobbles over and like peeks in. And he's like, damn, he's still drunk?
Always.
It looks like we accept all orphans.
Okay.
New halfway house in town.
I'm surprised he took to all of y'all. He doesn't seem to take to anybody.
Oh, he likes Tarby over here.
Well, I ain't gonna say nothing. So, at this point, if you don't mind, we've had a long day. We're just gonna take a load off, if it's all the same.
No, it's good.
By all means.
Help yourselves, gentlemen.
Where's Chang at?
Chang comes walking back out from his room, which is really just a power station.
Yeah. Chang, where'd this table come from?
He says, I can't honestly say. I was powered down at the time, ensuring that I stayed at optimal efficiency. But when I came back to, was when Mr. Hickok was returning to the front door, and he was rather fluid with his vulgarities as he was attempting to bring this table in. So my assumption would be that he went to town and bought it, perhaps?
Where'd he get money?
I couldn't honestly say.
How did he get it back here?
That I don't know either. Perhaps delivery?
I just would have thought a local that just dropped it off as payment for service rendered.
No, we haven't had anybody come by as of yet.
Looking at the table, is it anything familiar or like any kind of a familiar style that we may have seen around town before?
Yeah, it has kind of a Japanese flair to it a little bit, like woodworking designs. But outside of that, it's a nice oak table.
Nothing.
It doesn't look like it belongs to someplace in town that
No.
maybe got lifted.
Nope. That would be really silly.
Joe's Bar and Grill on it.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. This would be something very obscene to try and shoplift from, a local vendor.
Slip that under your coat.
Yeah.
I brought this in with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I didn't know I did this.
Hickok, where are you going? Fuck y'all! I'm taking this table.
This was in my jacket when I got here.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I don't know how they got my
fucker.
You want to see my receipt?
Well, I ain't gonna show you.
Well, I guess we better wait to solve that mystery for later. We gotta go see.
Yeah, what time is it? And what time are we supposed to meet with the mayor?
You guys got about an hour at this point.
Oh, I guess we still got a little time.
Before
or half an hour till to town, right?
Yeah, that's not including travel time, so you're going to have to double time it here if you're going to make it, and you're going to dress up at all.
I'm going to go ahead and just start getting ready, just not even modest, like just hurry up and like get my stuff ready. And Doc, I think you're gonna, huh?
I gotta get my bloody clothes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, should probably do that.
Doc, I just to be clear, are you giving him a shot before we leave so he doesn't wake up and see our other guests?
I can do that. That's probably not a bad idea.
Just for some security on our part until we figure out even this table situation.
Yeah, I'll work out the shot. Somebody talk to our new guests, and I gotta get these clothes off. I can't go anywhere looking like I just killed somebody. So
I can talk to our guests.
Yeah, just let them know we're taking off.
Well, and Nina's staying behind too.
Okay.
Oh, good.
All right, I'm gonna go try and freshen up as well.
Okay.
Gonna go measure out a shot and shoot him in the ass.
So
were we under the impression that this is a fancy thing or just a business thing?
It wasn't terribly clear.
Better to err on the side of caution.
Well, it's not like we really have anything fancy to wear.
No, just clean.
Anyway, just clean.
I don't know if I have clean. I didn't say I changed my scrubs when I was working on them, so I can put scrubs on. That's all I've got.
Not bloody. I guess that makes
No, we bought a couple of pairs of clothes.
Yeah, you guys definitely have clothes to change into.
Oh yeah, there we go. I have a light jacket.
Water, so we can wash them too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get.
So you guys spend the next couple of minutes cleaning up, primping what little you can, I guess, combing your hair, just making yourself looking a little presentable at this point. No matter what you do, you're everybody knows you're outsiders. And at this point, yeah, Nina and Chang are staying behind, and Chang at this point is fully powered, so he's going to be keeping an eye on, the base obviously as well, and the new guests. You guys hop into the primary mule and head back into town. When you go to the address that's on your invite, it's actually an outdoor venue. The walls are essentially like they're walls, but they're also large bushes with a nice kind of white arch in between, and there's people being checked coming in. There are white dangling lights that go down either side of the walkway out into a rotunda in the very center. So think very, very southern, in a way, kind of fancy, like trees kind of hanging over, and they've got like white lights dangling around,
Like
but
a
also,
garden party.
what's that?
Like a garden party.
Like a garden party. But there's also hanging lanterns that are lit as well, like the paper lanterns. So it's kind of a nice southern, yet semi-Japanese kind of feel to the garden. And there's music playing in the background, wood instruments. So there is a live band. There's quite a few people kind of mingling about and whatnot. As you come walking in, of course, your invitations check out, obviously, and they let you in. You guys are woefully underdressed, but you're clean.
Good.
There is, two separate tables, one with drinks and one with like hors d'oeuvres and whatnot. There are several tables laid out for people who may just want to sit and talk or eat that have got like nice white cloth draped across them.
Well, I don't know what I expected, but this was not it.
It is.
Somebody getting married?
I hope not.
That felt like we needed to be here?
Yeah, but hey, there's food.
I was just thinking how hungry I am right now.
Hey,
Well, you're not wrong there.
maybe we should check in with the governor before we eat all
Yeah,
of this.
probably be more polite that way.
And as you guys get up, you can hear the sizzle of hot plates not far away as they've got like pot stickers, currently being fried up, on the spot.
Stomach's gurgling.
Yeah, it's like the wind will kick every so often, and you're just like, oh, fresh food. Oh, no kibble.
I don't think we've eaten this good in, probably since we got here.
I was going to say, since we've been on this planet.
Since before we got here.
Well, this is true, because we had the crash and everything. Yeah, it's been a while.
We had a lovely meal before the crash.
This is true. Yeah.
That is true.
On the ship, on the Will-O-Wisp. So you see the governor. He's doing his rounds, like the smile, shake hands sort of thing, with people, welcoming to the area. He's there all by himself, but he's got two guys kind of hanging out around him, who look very much like Secret Service types. The black black suit, sort of tie sort of look to him. Who is approaching first, or is it just you guys all en masse?
En masse, I would assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tarby's the boss, though, right?
What?
Maybe
It-
Yeah.
the gang is named after you.
The gang is actually named after him. Yep. A slip of the lip by Nina by mistake, but it kind of stuck. So you guys come walking up, and he's all, well, if it isn't the Shapiv gang, thank you for joining us at this party. I hope our lovely town is treating you well. You seem to be doing well for yourselves, with the exception of your time.
These here vittles smell pretty good. Are they complimentary?
It is all complimentary for all of my friends who are currently at the party. Now I would count you among them.
I'm watching everybody else and say, dig in.
With
Well, thanks, Bob.
what's the occasion, sir? This is a mighty fine party.
I tend to throw shindigs of this nature ever so often, just to keep people happy, the voters. And of course, on the occasion, there might be business that needs to be conducted on site, and it's nice to have just a reason to have a good get together. Oh, please do enjoy any cigars that you might need.
Speaking of business, is that why we got an invite ourselves?
As astute as ever, Mr. Shapiv. Of course, it's always about business, or in some cases, the lack thereof.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna go try and grab some more pot stickers, but
Okay.
I don't know that I'm interested.
When you have a moment, I wanted to introduce you to somebody. I believe that you are aware that the unificators are currently here on the planet.
Yeah, they've made the rounds.
And so he motions somebody over, and he comes walking over, and he is in a classic looking Alliance officer uniform. Very, his hair is still cut, very military, looking. Looks like he probably held the rank of a captain at some point. And he says, Mr. Shapiv, may I introduce you to Boss Mossbacher? He is currently the leader of the unificators here on the planet. And so he looks at you, and his eyebrow kind of raises briefly, as he's clearly sizing you up, and he says, "Good evening, Mr. Moss or Mr. Shapiv.
Please make your acquaintance, sir. I'm gonna try and hide my disdain.
You look rather familiar."
I've got one of those kind of faces.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a social and trick?
Gotcha. Let's see.
He's turning trick.
Social and trick.
Can I get his name again, please?
His name, well, it's his rank and name. It's Boss, so Boss, Mossbacher.
Mossbacher.
Yes.
I got a 10, and one of them was a 6 on a 6. Does that
Okay.
ever matter in this game?
Not necessarily. No. I was going to. You've already rolled, but I was going to say, if you need it, keep in mind you have a distinction here that may help you if you wish to spend a plot point.
Oh, gotcha. I'll keep my roll, man.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
Do any of you guys actually have plot points? I don't think I've ever had one.
I have one.
I think
I have one left.
I was going to say you guys have spent some for like your leveling up and whatnot too.
I'm not sure I ever actually.
But I know everybody has gained at least one.
Oh wait, are plot points the same as XP?
Essentially, yeah.
The plot points is when we choose to roll a different kind of dice, that kind of thing.
But there's you can get that. Well, you can get them by choosing to roll lower and giving you a plot point, and then you can your plot point will allow you to roll higher or activate something else later on, like adding a die to your die pool.
Right, but I guess my distinctions don't really come up that often. So I haven't
Not right now. It hasn't.
Anyway, go on. Okay.
So, Mr. Shapiv, have you been on planet long?
Not terribly long. I don't like out of character. It's been what, about a month
Yeah,
or so? Yeah,
a little over a month at this point.
yeah. Not terribly long. We're just trying to make our way.
And the governor here was telling me that you are bounty hunters.
For circumstantial reasons, yeah, it's a job that just came about, and we're we're fulfilling needs here in town. It's worked out so far.
Well, I do apologize. My group seems to be taking all of the good contracts, which would essentially leave you with the scraps.
This is true. But no harm, no foul.
Of course. Well, Mr. Shapiv, do enjoy the party.
I will, and I thank you for your time.
And so he bows politely and walks off to, go mingle in the crowd. Looks like he's probably meeting with somebody else.
I'm gonna go look for something really stiff to drink.
Okay. I mean, it's there. There's
Right on.
plenty. There's plenty to drink here.
I'm gonna follow Tarby, and that was a little close for comfort.
Yeah, I don't know if he recognized me or whatnot. I thought I played it off, but can't really tell.
Yep.
But I know I hate him.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna go try and find the governor again. Catch
Sure.
up with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's at this point still talking with some others. Just kind of making his way and mingling.
Governor, you got a second?
Oh, of course, Mr. Shapiv. How can I help you?
I love your cadence. I just would like to say. So that business aside, was there anything else that you were needing from us?
Well, come, Mr. Shapiv, take a closer walk with me.
I'd be happy to.
And he walks you kind of a little off the property. It's not completely off, but you can tell from the back end of where like this rotunda and all the decoration is. It sits just off of a fairly wide river. So it's kind of nice and picturesque, but this is pretty much where people go for their smoke breaks and
Gotcha.
whatnot, that sort of thing. So it's like this is where you'd wander off or something like that. And so his two guards, clearly taking the hint, stop like right at the exit of this kind of park as he walks a little bit further towards the docks and lights up a cigar.
Gotcha. So, what's on your mind, Governor?
So, as you no doubt know, the Unificators are they tend to running the place dry with bounty hunting and taking up all of the available jobs that I might normally be sending to an individual such as yourself. This does create a bit of a conundrum.
Yeah, it has. We've already felt the pinch.
So, can I trust you, Mr. Shapiv?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead and roll.
What am I rolling?
No, you may not.
Social, you're at this point social and influence.
Social.
Better not give us a bounty on brown coats.
Social and
Oh God.
influence.
That'd be real rough.
6 and 8. I got another 10.
Okay. So you seem, despite having met Mossbacher recently, you seem moderately assured of yourself in your response. And he says, you are in a rather unique position, being that you're outsiders in this area, and you tend to have a little goodwill with the local populace, if I'm being fair to say. So it has reached my ears that perhaps your little group of, well, let's just call them fixers for the time being. You can't exactly bounty hunt much, given the fact that the unificators are taking that all up. So I have a little conundrum of my own that I wish to throw your way to see if it's something you could help me rectify.
I'm listening.
Well, let's just say I have a side venture that tends to fill my personal coffers a bit on the side that helps supplement my modest income I get by being the governor of this great planet. And with having the unificators here on planet, it has put me in a bit of a bind. You see, they tend to be a little stickly. They tend to be more sticklers about that which comes in and out of port.
Mm.
You know much about rum running, son?
I know about rum itself. Running, I can learn.
Why don't you go ahead and give me another check? Because you're admitting ignorance at this point.
Gotcha.
But you're eager.
That's
So at
gotta
this
come
point, you're going social. You're social and influence.
Okay. Nine.
9.
Okay. So he didn't seem totally convinced, but maybe there's other factors at play right now. So he continues as he takes kind of a long drag off of his cigar.
Mm.
Let's just say there's a shipment that is currently sitting off world right now in a high orbit, and I kind of need to make its way planetfall off the books. I'd be willing to cut your little group in for a modest fee, minus your inexperience, of course. Is this something you would be willing to undertake for me, Mr. Shapiv?
We are definitely interested. I'll discuss this with my associates. We'll get the details from you in a little bit.
All right. Well, you have until the end of the party.
I appreciate it. Am I okay to walk past these guys here, or do you need to come back with me?
Oh no, of course you're more than welcome to walk around the complex. If nothing else, your cover story was you were checking out the flowers. You seem like a flower type of man.
I like flowers, man. Nothing wrong with that.
You hit the nail on the head.
All right, I'm gonna walk back to the party and
Okay.
group up with everybody else.
And
We're
he, of
still-
course, walks back in and starts mingling. You guys are all, since he kind of gave you the go sign, you at this point you're probably at various points of already scarfing down and eating and drinking and whatnot. The good eats. Like even the water tastes better that they've got here because it's just it's distilled. Like everything here is top notch.
Gotcha. All right, so guys, I have privy to some information from the good governor, and he's got a really good side gig going on here, and he wants to cut us in because these guys here have put a damper on some of his dealings. What he wants is there's a shipment of some rum up in orbit right now, and he wants to bring it down off the books. and he wants us to facilitate it. And he's gonna cut us in on it.
How we do that without a ship?
What she said. Uh,
Well, as a former alliance, you would know that if it's orbiting if it's in high orbit, means it's probably in quarantine or lockdown of some kind in the neighboring space station. So it's a matter of catching a ride up and stealing it back down.
So it would be like a taxi thing, not necessarily
Right.
us getting
Yeah,
spaceship.
you wouldn't necessarily have to have a full on ship to do something like that.
Gotcha.
okay.
You guys say.
But we're gonna have to figure out the particulars. But if it's to screw the alliance, I'm all for it. Let's do this.
Doc,
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean,
Poppy.
we don't got many bounties going on, so
That's what I figured. Plus, it puts us in good with the gov.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go back to him, get some details, and I'll be right back with you guys.
Cool.
We'll go try and find the governor again.
Okay. So as you approach, he has some guy, one of his guards that are with him, defer you off to the side. And as he does, he ends up slipping you a disc, like in his palm, just palms a disc next to you, shakes your hand and walks away.
Okay. Is it something I have a player for, or is it something I'm gonna have to check out?
Oh no, yeah. I mean, it's assumed like when you have it would be like a CD. Like pretty much everybody, if you don't directly have a CD on you, you have one at the house or something. It's like or like in our case, like you can throw a CD into a PlayStation 4. There are devices that have multiple uses that will use it as well.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna walk back to the group then and kind of flash it low key to him and see if anybody's got something to stick this in.
That would be Doc.
I got my player.
All right.
we gonna do it here? We're gonna wait till we get home.
We can go outside.
So you walked outside with the governor. Is there some place we can go outside a little private out there, or
Yeah, by the river.
let's do it?
Okay, so you guys just wander out back. There's two people out here, smoke break, sort of thing. They're not talking to one another. They're just doing their own thing, like pacing back and forth and whatnot. There's a couple docks, or I should say, a couple piers out here with rowboats. Very low tech stuff that are just like off of this. It looks like probably during the day, people might take them out for fishing or just to row. Go float out, out in the river or whatnot. It doesn't look like it's commercialized for any reason, but down the river you can see where there is clearly a larger dock where some more smaller commercial fishing probably does take place.
Gotcha.
But the road back here is not paved. It is a dirt road that comes off the pier. Think very in this particular area. Think like old Boomtown that sits off a river. Like if you've played Red Dead Redemption, kind of like Blackwater.
Gotcha.
So you pop the disc in, Doc. It is a shipping manifest. And it is basically a schedule of the week. And most of the week at this point is passed, so it looks like the only two spots that are left are tomorrow and the next day. But basically it's got a schedule of when the known ships are coming in and out, for commerce and whatnot, and mail runs and whatnot.
So what are we looking at then? Are we looking at trying to find a ship we know the ship that's got the rum, or we're just looking to find it?
From what I can gather, we've got to go up there and find it, and then bring it back down.
Oh yeah, and it has the information on the ship itself and what the dock that it's at on the space station.
Okay.
Is there going to be a problem with us going up tomorrow? I mean, do we need to be here for Unification Day stuff? Is it going to be suspicious if we're not here?
Out of character, is there any kind of do we know what's going to be going on during Unification Day? Are there banners or events and things like that?
Yeah, that's plainly obvious. They've got signs all around town talking about there's a small parade that's going to be in the middle of town, and you guys, since Unification Day is a thing pretty much everywhere, even in smaller towns, it's a lot like the 4th of July.
Okay.
You're going to have stands of fireworks. You're going to have people that have special, Unification Day specials going on of sales or whatever. So people try to make it into a thing.
Unification Day.
So tomorrow's probably the day to do it then.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of distractions going on. So if you're going to do it, it probably would be smartest to try and do it during your Unification Day.
Gotcha.
That sounds like the most safe thing to do.
You have a window of doing it the day after, but you clearly don't have the advantage of the additional distractions.
My concern then, my remaining concern is whether we need to run some kind of interference regarding our house guests, as far as keeping them safe.
Well, if Tracy stays.
Yeah, not all of us have to. I wouldn't assume that all of us don't have to go. We would probably take 2 or 3.
I mean, that's probably a good idea.
I mean, I'm barely good with a gun. I mean, if you want to, I can stay behind with Tracy, or unless you want to take Tracy with you, I don't.
It might be a good idea to take Tracy, but I definitely agree. You should probably hang back with your sick nephew.
With the injured,
yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and call it there for tonight. We've got a solid 2 hours in, and we'll let you guys figure that out in chat, offline or whatnot, or discuss that, how you guys want to do that. Gives you 2 weeks to plan.
Right on.
The big heist during Unification Day. Bum, bum, bum. So I had a lot of fun. I got to use Governor Chakwas again. That's always fun.
Nobody died.
And
nobody died.
Nobody died, despite Todd's best efforts.
Yeah, it's the double one.
That's Snake Eyes. And we got a lot of good rolls after that. So.
Yep. All right. So then the rest of the week from here, we are off, and we are gaming again Friday the 4th, which will be Vampire, and Saturday the 5th, which will be Cyberpunk. So huzzah. And then after that, we have, and we're still doing this, right? The Changing Breeds on the 7th?
Yeah, Changing Breed on the 7th and Firefly on the 9th.
Awesome. Alrighty, cool. So then with that, we'll go ahead and sign off, and I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for joining, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Hey, babies.
And we're out.